Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Danelle here at Networkchain. Hope this finds you doing well. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to talk about some of the biggest news stories over the past week as the Bitcoin network continues to grow as more and more institutions and institutional players are looking to get a piece of the Bitcoin stash, as well as the expansion of blockchain technology, and the industry continues to grow as we had a major IPO that jumped off over the past weeks. We'll get into that in a moment. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently trading at $105,514. It's basically flat, up almost 1% over the past 7 days. Ethereum is down almost 1%. It's currently trading still over that $2,500 range. You can see XRP is currently at about $2.18. It's up about 0.59% over the past week. You see Solana is actually down 2.5% at $151. You see Dogecoin is down 3%. A lot of that may have to do with some of the news over the past week related to Elon Musk and his comments against the U.S. administration and the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. It's down to 18 cents. Then you have Tron is in the top 10 at up over 4%, and Cardano rounding out the top 10, currently trading just under 67 cents. So let's get into the news regarding Circle, which is the issuer of the USDC stablecoins, and we did a video talking about stablecoins a couple of months ago. And basically, what they do is they take the money that goes into the USDC, which currently is at around a $61 billion market cap, and they back it by US dollars, and they also put it into US treasuries, and they get a return from those US treasuries, and in turn, that turns into basically the amount of money that they're able to pocket over quarter. So right now I believe they're making about $500 million a quarter, so it's about $2 billion a year. And if more and more people trade in and out and use USDC, they can take those funds, and once again, they're backed by US dollars, but they can also use those dollars to be backed by US Treasury bills as well, and continue to make money off of that interest. So Circle was highly anticipated, and it hit up to $75, actually over $75 in the first day of trading on the New York Stock Exchange. And let's go ahead and just look at the stats currently. You can see Circle is actually trading over $100 at $107, and it's up 29% on last Friday. You can see that the market cap is currently at around $21 billion. So BlackRock, who is the largest asset manager in the world at over $10 trillion of assets under management, they also received an allocation. There's rumors that they purchased around 10% of the outstanding shares that were available at the initial public offering, also known as an IPO. And so it was believed that the IPO price for those who were able to get in before it actually hit the public markets, it was around $31. So you can see now that so far they are doing quite well on their investment, and it's currently trading basically 3x that amount. So BlackRock obviously knows what they're doing when it comes to investing in various companies and assets. And speaking of BlackRock, their ETF, the IBIT ETF, IBIT, is one of the best ETFs in the world. As you can see here, BlackRock's ETF could potentially pass Bitcoin founder Satoshi Nakamoto, that has just over 1.1 million Bitcoin. Currently, BlackRock has around 660,000, so they're definitely heading towards that $1 million or 1 million Bitcoin mark. And as you can see, that's only taken about just under 18 months for BlackRock ETF to have over 660,000 assets or Bitcoin assets under management. So we can see that the BlackRock ETF is doing extremely well. And when we look at it compared to the best ETFs on the market in terms of assets under management, you can see the Vanguard ETF, which tracks the S&P 500, as well as the Spider ETF, which tracks the S&P 500 SPY and VOO. Those are two of the most popular ETFs on the public market. You can see that SPY's been on the market for over 32 years, and they have over 600 billion in assets. And BlackRock, just in a year, 1.4 years, has over 70 billion in assets and has cracked the top 25. So they are the youngest, and they're the youngest by about 9 times compared to the next youngest, which is Schwab, and looks like IEFA and IEMG, which are around 12 to 13 years on the market. So VO obviously is doing extremely well when you see it being number one, and it's only been on the market for just around 15 years. But it's pretty amazing to see that Bitcoin and all of Bitcoin's products are really starting to make a mark in traditional finance. We can see here that many more companies and corporate treasuries are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Vanity Coffee, which is out of Spain, is looking to raise $1.1 billion to be able to buy Bitcoin following the strategy model. And there's a number of companies that continue to be added to the list of Bitcoin treasuries. And we'll go to that Bitcoin list in a moment, Bitcoin treasuries list in a moment. But you can see here that the chairman stated that the investment will be financed through a stock issuance, with the proposal to be presented to the shareholder authorization at their upcoming June general meeting. And so this is not just another company that is joining the fray, but it's also another company from another country. So it's just going to show that the worldwide interest that is coming into Bitcoin continues to expand as we continue to talk over and over again about how we are still in the very beginning stages. So it's very important, particularly if you're interested in learning about emerging markets, that blockchain technology in Bitcoin is inevitably an emerging market that is continuing to emerge. As you see, it has a $2 trillion market cap, and that's Bitcoin, and it is definitely having the opportunity to potentially go after gold, which is currently at around, I believe, 22 trillion or so market cap, and Bitcoin being dubbed digital gold definitely has a chance over time to reach that market cap of gold and maybe even surpass it. So we can go here to our trusty bitcointreasuries.net website, and you can see here when we look at the ETFs that are currently on the public market, iShares, which is that BlackRock ETF, currently has over 660,000 Bitcoin. And what's crazy is that GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which has had Bitcoin for several years, way before the Bitcoin ETFs, the other Bitcoin ETFs hit the market last year, and they initially had over 600,000 Bitcoin. But because of the fact that their fees are extremely high compared to a lot of these other ETFs, a lot of investors took their Bitcoin and sold that Bitcoin trust, I should say, and went into other ETFs because the fees are a lot less. So they ended up spinning out another trust called the Bitcoin Mini Trust, which is BTC, and they're starting to get some pretty good traction there. But if we go to the top of this bitcointreasuries.net website, you can see that there are a number of new additions on to the list. As you can see here, that there was a jump of 21 entities holding Bitcoin over the last month, and you can see there was a jump of 4% more Bitcoin that have been added to the Bitcoin treasuries. So these Bitcoin treasuries have 3.4 million of the 21 million of Bitcoin supply that is available. So for people like me and you, these institutions are coming for Bitcoin, and they're continuing to eat up the Bitcoin supply that is being added to the supply every year through Bitcoin mining. And some of these companies, like Strategy, for example, are buying up 1 or 2 or 3 years worth of the Bitcoin supply in one swoop, basically. And so it's very important that we understand the economics between the difference of supply and demand, and we are seeing that the demand is continuing to come into this finite asset, which just has a limited supply. So you're seeing that there's basically unlimited demand that's coming into this asset. So with that, the price will likely continue to go up. So something to consider as you consider investing in Bitcoin and looking into blockchain technology. But you can see here that the list is continuing to grow, and it's not just the United States, it's people or companies from all around the world. So definitely make sure to keep posted here at Networkchain. We're on X as well as on IG. We post there nearly every day, and of course we're here to sum it all up on our weekly videos on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you, and please reach out to us anytime. We look forward to linking up with you soon on the network chain. In the meantime, take care. Bye-bye.